Hey guys, Sophia here with Turquoise Toffee, and I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the 2023 IFBB Pro League Charlotte Pro. We've got figure, bikini, wellness, masters figure, masters bikini, and masters wellness results to go through. So many beautiful, amazing athletes, so let's get started. Now, I've got one more recap from the weekend coming your way, and I have something extremely special, a huge surprise to tell you about that particular video. So make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss it. All right, now in terms of Olympia, last year's top three qualify in the open division. The masters divisions don't go to the Olympia. That's a whole separate competition for the masters. But the winner of every open division does qualify for Olympia. So there are no more points. Second through fifth no longer have any rewards. It is merely the winner of the show that gets their ticket to the Olympia. Very high stakes. So let's begin with our pro figure. So these are the girls that are heading, or the winner that heads to Olympia. In first place was Madison, second Erica, third Danielle, fourth Constance, and fifth Amanda. And when you look at the scores, it was very, very close between second place and first place. So a very exciting scorecard. Okay, so here's Amanda in fifth. Holy smokes, her V-taper is crazy good. Really broad up top and tiny, narrow waist. You really notice that shape. I think she looks absolutely spectacular. I think her conditioning is really good too. You've got a lot of really good detail coming through on her quads. Her abs are sensational. She looks just shredded and gorgeous. I do think that she could have a little bit more size to the inside of her thighs, a little bit more roundness in here. With having such a beautiful upper body and so big and the delts being so noticeable, it's hard to make sure that the quads balance that. So I think just a little bit more size in the legs and she would be absolutely amazing. Beautiful suit. I think she looks gorgeous. She could also relax the arms a little bit. I do find them to be a bit wide. All right, next is Constance in fourth. She looks stunning as well. And that's exactly what I mean about relaxing the arms. She's not quite as open and big, yet you still see that beautiful V-taper shape in her lats. I think her arms look so great. She's got beautiful biceps and triceps. Her delts look lovely. I think she could have a tiny bit more roundness at this top part right up here. But overall, the size is a really great proportion with the muscles in her arms, and I think really good proportions with her legs as well. She does have a bit more fullness on the inside of her thighs, which I think looks really good. There's no space, there's no gap, it's just pure muscle. She also has really good conditioning. You've got great detail in the quads. The lines come all the way up her hips. She's got nice abs. Beautiful makeup. I love that her hair is up and out of the way. It gives you such a good view of her upper body. And I just think overall she looks really quite fantastic. The suit is nice. It's a darker blue. There's a little bit almost polka dots coming through with the darker blue shade. And I think it's really lovely. So overall, I think she did a fantastic job. All right, next is Danielle in third. Wow, very full. Her legs are super big. The thighs have a lot of meat. The quads are really nicely round. She also has extremely large and super detailed shoulders. I love it. Those delts really stand out to me. The V-taper is extremely easy to see. Her stomach is super flat, very lean. I wouldn't mind if a bit more of the six-pack was showing through, particularly because she has so much good detail coming through on the legs and the arms. I wish that there was just a little bit more detail coming through in the torso. But overall, wow, what a great shape. I think the makeup, like the lipstick, could have been a bit brighter. I'm a fan of a bold lip myself, but I think her eyeshadow looks beautiful. Her hair's off her incredible shoulders. Conditioning is really nice, and she's posing beautifully. All right, next is Erica in second. Here we go. We've got crazy detail everywhere. The legs, you got feathering, you have extremely deep and easy to see lines. Her abs are very clear. She's got a very nice, almost, I want to say a moderate V-taper shape. Like she's not overly exaggerated. It's a great proportion. The lat spread to the quad sweep is really lovely shape. She's got a nice dark tan. I think you have beautiful detail coming through. Nice delts, but I do think they could be a bit bigger, particularly when I compare her in the lineup to the other girls. Just a little bit more roundness and fullness out up here in this part, and I think she would be really exceptional. And even when I look from a symmetry perspective, this delt to me looks a little bit bigger and rounder than this one. I think her foundation could have been a tiny bit darker, even just along the outside of her face, like kind of more towards the hair. But overall, she looks bright. She's beautiful, great calves, great conditioning. And now in first place, Madison. Wow. Beautiful detail in her legs. She's got conditioning, but she also looks full. Like all of these muscles in her quads look like they're going to burst. They're like little balloons, completely filled. It's really quite stunning. She looks full and yet also extremely lean. Great detail in her abs. Her waistline is so small. It really pinches in here, which I think is a great look. And then amazing lats, really large with good round shape on her delts. Sets her apart. I think she's got a great suit. It's so flattering. It really draws your eye out towards the V-taper. It's beautiful colors. Her hair is off of her shoulders. She's got that brightness in the middle of her face, but good blending with the foundation. That's exactly what I meant when I was talking about our second place winner. I just think she really kind of nailed everything. Every aspect of what they want to see is there. She looks gorgeous. Okay, now I will do a quick little disclaimer here. The lineup photos are quite zoomed out, and that's the whole show, but I still wanted to use them because they give you a really good idea of the different heights, the different sizes, and even the different conditioning. Even if it's not the clearest picture, you can still see the difference. And honestly, I am really drawn towards Erica and Madison in this photo. Their legs in particular stand out for the amount of detail, but also the amount of size. Just a gorgeous sweep. Really small waistlines with a really fantastic V-taper. And in this front pose, I think Madison gets that extra point above Erica because of the roundness in her delts. Overall, it is a very, very competitive top 5, but definitely my eye is drawn to the top 2. And now from behind, Madison definitely steals the show here. I think she's got a particular fullness in her back muscles. Like the lats almost come down all the way to her waist. Just so much size, really 3D, particularly in the upper back here. But then her glutes have a really good shape. She's got a nice, almost a long circular shape, an oval shape almost, but really good detail coming into the tie-ins. Good amount of definition down into her hamstrings. I don't think Erica quite matches that. And good size with the sweep of her quads. I think Erica has overall a really great silhouette, but Madison just kind of had a little bit of an edge in terms of that detail coming through and behind. So overall, spectacular. And in terms of Olympia, Madison is now qualified. All right, so let's go into figure over 40. In first place was Constance, second, Deshane, third, Yukina, fourth, Linda, and fifth, Florencia. And the scores were a lot more moderate for this scorecard. Okay, so here's Florencia in fifth place. She looks beautiful. I love her delts. She's got great lines in her arms, just so much curve, so much bumps, so much lumps, just beautiful round muscles and great definition and great striations. I think she's got a really nice look. Good V-taper, beautiful glutes, a nice size in her quads. However, not enough conditioning to show off the detail. I want to see more lines, more deep grooves. But overall, I think she's got a really nice look, beautiful makeup, great suit, perfectly bright, bold colors, and she looks quite lovely. All right, next is Linda in fourth, who you guys probably remember. We saw her at the Tri-City Pro. She looks even better than last time. Check out the conditioning. Her legs are really glowing. You got a lot of really deep, easy to see grooves and lines in those quads. I think her waistline looks even more trim than it did before. Fantastic shoulders. She's got a really good V-taper shape. Really, she's got a good X frame, honestly. She's got great balance. I love how small her waist is. I think she looks really good. I do think her suit is a little bit off-centered. It's kind of making me notice this lat more than this one. I wonder if this little gemstone could just move a little bit more this way and if it would line up a little bit better, and then everything would just shift a bit, because to me my eyes are not quite coming down the midline. Or maybe it's perfect and just she's a little bit twisted in her posing. But either way, I think that this arm seems a little higher. This shoulder seems a little higher than this one. So just a tiny little tweak, and I think she will be so unstoppable. But I love her look. I love the blue. I love her hair, her makeup. She looks gorgeous. Okay, next in third place is Yukina. She looks stunning as well. Great size in her legs. You've got some good detail down by the kneecaps, though I wish that it was deeper and easier to see up into the top part of her thighs. Like this line here, I wish was just a little bit more visible. Maybe even just a bit more gloss to show off the definition a bit better. She's got great abs, really nice small pinched in waistline right in here. It looks really good. Great flare of her lats and nice round arms. But yeah, I do think she could have a bit more conditioning just to show off the detail a little bit better. And I'm not crazy about how low her suit bottoms fit. It almost has like a hip hugger vibe. And I feel like she would have a more flattering shape if the straps could come up a bit higher, up more towards the level of her belly button. Otherwise, I think she looks fantastic. And I love the lipstick. All right, Deshane in second place. You guys remember her from the Tri-City. She looks amazing. This is a fabulous pose. So powerful, so strong. I think she's really showing off the beautiful shape in her arms. Her legs are so round, so full, great calves. She just looks amazing. And check out the makeup, great eyeshadow, though I do think she could have a different shade on her lips just to make the smile a bit stand out a little bit more. Tiny waist, beautiful definition in her abs. I think this pose makes it a little tricky to compare the conditioning in her legs. Certainly, you have some good detail down lower in the legs and a great shape in the roundness. I'm not crazy about her suit bottoms. I think there's just too much fabric. And when they're in the lineup overall, it's very much a easy to see triangle, which I don't love. But I think the color is fantastic, and I love that she coordinated her makeup to it. So overall, I think she's got a really great look. Just there's a few things I'm not crazy about. All right, and then Constance, once again, we've seen her before. She landed that first place spot. Okay, so here's the side by side. Maybe you agree with me about Deshane's bottoms. I just feel that they're so bright and so eye-catching, and there's just so much fabric. I would have preferred if she had a little bit more of a scooped out area in front. And then maybe you agree with me about Yukita. Her bottoms are a little too low. It's very tricky. This suit bottom is so technically difficult. But overall, a very impressive lineup. I'm really noticing the detail in this picture in Deshane's legs. Great size, great glossiness, really full. Constance, I think, has really good balance between her lower body and her upper body. In this pose, I think I'm really noticing Deshane's lats, and perhaps the legs could come to meet them a little bit more. Now, from behind, Constance to me has the best conditioning. You really notice the detail down her hamstrings. You notice the beautiful outline of her glutes and that crazy size and amazing 3D quality in her back muscles here. She also has really good delts, nice and full and round. I think Deshane beside her also has a really great, fantastic shape, but she doesn't look as full in the back as Constance does, and I think that gives her a bit of an edge. Okay, figure over 50. In first place, Constance. Second, Candice. Third, Andy. Fourth, Taco. And fifth, Deanna. So here's Deanna in fifth place. Fabulous X shape. She's posing in a great way to really show off that silhouette. I am so impressed by her abs, really deep definition. She's got a really nice pinched in shape. Like I said, the posing is perfect. Nice roundness to the quads. She's got good shape, but I do think she just needs a bit more conditioning to show off the detail in the legs and also a bit more roundness to the delts. They're looking a bit sloped here, whereas I think a bit more height would do a really beautiful job in her physique with the V-taper. The suit is great, nice color. I like the makeup as well. I think she looks overall really good. Okay, Taco in fourth. Fabulous legs. Her sweep is so full, easy to see, really round, nice fullness in her adductor area as well. Those inner thighs look really good. I think she's got also really good abs, a great shape. Like the lat spread is awesome, a beautiful V. I also think she could have a bit more height to the top of the delts up here, but I do like the amount of definition that's coming through, right? You see a little tiny bit of striations. You've got a nice outline. The biceps and triceps look beautifully separated. So I think overall she's got a really good shape, just a bit more size to the lats and a little bit more conditioning to show off more of the finer detail in the legs. So impressed by her abs. The suit is beautiful. I love that her hair is off her shoulders and I adore her makeup. It's perfect. The lipstick, mwah, I love it. Okay, next is Andy in third. Gorgeous shape. Also, wow, she's got great legs. I love the fullness in her quads. She's got a really nice amount of definition in the six pack, so her abs are really visible. Her V-taper, I think, could be a bit more exaggerated. So a bit more lat, a bit smaller of a waist to accentuate the V. But I think she's got good size. She's got nice size in the delts. They look very round. Also, I mean, she could totally have a little bit more height, but that could be a posing thing too. So just a little bit more of an exaggerated V. And then again, I do think she could even have a bit more conditioning too, like just to show off that finer detail in the legs to really separate out those different parts of the quads. But overall, I think she looks really quite good. I like that the detail is heavier on her suit on the outside edge. I think that draws your eye from the middle out. And she looks really good. All right, Candice in second. Now there is a more exaggerated V-taper. You really notice her lats. You notice the roundness in her delts. She's got a bit more height coming up. So I think that just creates a really good shape. Your eye follows along her silhouette. So she's got the roundness, the tapering in, and then right back out to the roundness in her quads. Her waist looks really small, though I wouldn't mind a little bit more of the detail coming through in the abs themselves. But I'm really impressed by how lean her upper body is. Like, check out the vascularity. She's got some good detail coming through in the quads, especially here by the knees, though I wouldn't mind if that line was a bit more visible here on the inside part of her legs. But I like the size of her sweep. I like the size of the inside of her legs as well. The suit, again, I think that the strap could come up a bit higher, but overall, I think it's a great color. I think her hair is really good. It allows you to see the delts, and I think she looks really quite fantastic. And then once again, Constance in first place. So here's everyone side by side, some really amazing abs. I'm drawn to all of these six packs, particularly Deanna, Andy, and Taco. Constance, her delts really stand out to me in this lineup. They just have a really great proportion with her lats and the legs. Man, beautiful sweep. I noticed Candace as well. She's got some really good conditioning, but I think Constance has a little bit more of that X frame that is easy to see, and her proportions are really good. And then from behind, once again, Constance really nails it with her back. You notice all of that fullness. She's got really good symmetry. I see Candace is a little bit off in her symmetry here, or maybe it's just a shadow, not sure. But either way, Constance just looks so perfect, and really good detail coming through down her hamstrings. So another fabulous win for her. Okay, let's move on to Pro Bikini. In first place, Vanya. Second, Maria. Third, Brittany. Fourth, Ashley. And fifth, Jessica. And the scores were very even all the way through. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So a very easy to follow scorecard. Okay, so here's Jessica in fifth. I think she looks really good. She's got a really easy hourglass, really easy to see, right? Very wide, nice and narrow, pops right back out into her glutes. And she's just got these round hamstrings, great curve to the top of her quad, just a beautiful shape. I think conditioning wise, it's good. You've got that line coming through on the quad. You've got a bit of detail here, nice obliques. But I do think it could be more. I think the girls that are placing higher than her look even harder, and you can really see a lot of the line, and it's very, very deep. So I think Jessica has a fantastic shape, really beautiful posing to show off her curves, but just a little bit harder would have been next level. I like her hair. It's smooth, it's long, it's luxurious, beautiful color of her suit. I just, again, would have gone with a slightly different shade of lipstick just to brighten up the smile myself, but that's just me. Okay, so Ashley does have a little bit more hardness in her conditioning. I really noticed the groove in her hip. I noticed the outline of her quad. I noticed the separation into the hamstring area here. I think her oblique looks really chiseled. Her stomach looks super flat. And she even has just a little bit more outline in the muscles in her arms. So certainly it's a little bit more of a hard look. It looks fabulous on her. She still has fullness and roundness in the quads. This back leg in particular, I think looks really good. I would perhaps pose with this foot at a different angle. I think she could maybe have it a little bit more towards the front of the room so that it maybe has a bit more of a curve coming through. Right now, to me, this back leg looks quite straight, where the front leg, has more of a straightness. Anyway, I would just play around with this foot. It's quite sideways. But I think she's doing a great job twisting her waist. The hourglass is really easy to see. And I love the curve in the glute and the curve in the hamstring. And of course, I love the color of her suit. It's gorgeous. Okay, next is Brittany in third place. Beautiful. So see, her foot is a little bit more towards the judges, and it does give you a really nice look at that quad in the front without blocking or covering up the back leg. So I do love the way that she's posing, and you still see an amazing bubble in the hamstring, great shape to the glute, just overall a beautiful lower body. I think her conditioning really shines on this lower part. The great groove here, some detail coming through on the quad, and really nice chiseled obliques. I think she could have a bit more of that detail coming through on the arms, just a little bit. Like the delts are definitely big and they're definitely, a beautiful proportion, but I wouldn't mind if I could just have a little bit more of a match between the upper and the lower. Even the color seems a bit different between the lower and the upper of her tan. I love her lipstick. I love her makeup. The hair is beautiful. The color of the suit is beautiful. Love it. I think she's doing a really great job with her posing and everything. Like she's quite stunning and it's a beautiful look. Super impressed also by her tiny midsection and just this gorgeous shape to her glute. She looks really quite phenomenal. Okay, Maria in second place. Again, I'm going to comment on that front foot. So she's posing even different than everybody else. Her foot is like practically straight to the front of the room, and I really like it. It shows off such a nice amount of definition in her quad while still showing off the hip and the glute and giving her a nice hourglass shape. You don't get as much of a view of her hamstrings, but that could be strategic. Like maybe she has very large hamstrings or very small hamstrings and she just wants to show off the quad. I think it's really beautiful. The back leg looks good too. The conditioning is fantastic. So you've got the really easy to see line. You've got a bit of detail in the back leg. The obliques are fabulous. Her abs are visible. And I like how much curve you get in the muscles in her arms as well. So overall, I am loving her posing. I think she looks really fresh and very confident. The makeup and the hair is beautiful. She's got a little bit more pink to her lip rather than a nude, which I love. It's eye-catching. It draws you to her smile. I think she looks really, really good. I'm super impressed by everything that I see. And now Vanya in first. Oh my gosh. Talk about conditioning. She looks lean. Her stomach is so tight. Her obliques are so easy to see. Her lines in her legs are crazy. She looks tight. She looks really fit and athletic. The calf is just like a full balloon, right? The muscle is so popping. Absolutely stunning. I love this delt. She's got a great outline. She's got a great shape. Man, oh man. To me, it's her conditioning that takes her over the edge. She looks so tiny in the stomach. The hourglass is so crazy easy to see. Her glute is high. Great curves in her legs. Just absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful suit as well. The posing is perfect. She looks amazing. Okay, the side-by-side, yep, I'm drawn to Vanya's delts. I'm drawn to Jessica's delts as well. Jessica, I think, has a little bit more size in her legs than some of the other girls. She looks very round and full. Vanya, I'm drawn to the detail coming through on the back leg. Maria, I'm drawn to the detail on this front leg. Everybody. Brittany, I notice her delts quite a lot here, particularly compared to, say, Ashley. I think Ashley could have a little bit more fullness when I look also to Jessica beside her in the delts, but beautiful hamstrings. But Vanya just is so tiny in her stomach, and what a great hourglass shape. And then from behind, so good. It's a variety of sizes of the glutes. Jessica, to me, has the most size, but good balance. Her delts have a really good balance with the quads, nice glutes as well. But Vanya has good detail coming down the hamstrings, an extremely small waist, and really good hourglass. The V-taper is so easy to see with the width of her delts. I think she just looks full and tight tight. Tight is like the word I would use to describe her at this show. I do think her feet could be maybe a tad bit closer together. Same with Maria, honestly. But overall, I'm so impressed with everybody. So Vanya is now qualified for Olympia. So exciting. Okay, bikini over 40. In first place, Jan. Second, Jaina. Third, Bonnie. Fourth, Corrine. And fifth, Carla. So here's Carla in fifth. So beautiful. First of all, love the red suit and the red lipstick. It's gorgeous. I think she has amazing delts, great size, beautiful amount of definition coming through, good muscles in her arms. It's a good proportion. She's doing a good job of showing off the hourglass shape in this back curve, though I do find her to be a little bit too sideways. I'd like to see a tiny bit more of her stomach, so the other oblique, just a little bit. And I do find her feet to be a bit too close together. I would like this foot just to come out a tiny bit. But she's got great detail. I think the quads look fantastic. She's super tiny in the waist and a great shape also to her glute. So she looks beautiful. Next in fourth is Corrine. Fabulous sweep to her quads. I love this full round shape here. She's got a beautiful amount of size in those legs. Really good hamstrings as well. She's got a great amount of size to the glute, particularly on this outside edge, but I think she could have a bit more height in the glute up here. Just a bit more of that roundness starting closer to the strap of her suit. From a posing perspective, I think she could try to level the shoulders. Right now, it's a slope. It's kind of pulling her down. I feel like we would get a much better look at her upper body and a better view of the hourglass if she was just a little bit more level. But it's a great suit, beautiful makeup. I think the hair looks perfect. I like the side part. She's got just a little bit in front, so I don't mind that because I can see both of her delts. I like the way she's posing her foot. It's really on the tip of her toe, so she just looks delicate and dainty and very, very beautiful. Perhaps a little bit more conditioning just to tighten the ab muscles and a little bit more of a deepness in that line. It's definitely visible, but maybe just a little tiny bit more. Overall, I think she does look really quite gorgeous. All right, Bonnie in third. Amazing. She looks so confident. Her posing looks fabulous. You really notice the delts. You notice her hourglass shape. She's got great legs, a lot of size to the quad. I think she could also have a little bit more roundness to the top of the glute, but I do like the overall shape and how it connects here to the hamstring. I think maybe she could twist her chest open a little bit more so that the arm isn't so close to the glute, but she's not covering it, so you can still see the overall shape, so it's not a problem. I think her obliques look really good. Her arm muscles look really good. Great balance, great proportions. The pink suit looks fabulous. The pink lipstick looks beautiful. Just overall, she looks really, really good. Nice amount of detail coming through in the legs. She's just really, really quite spectacular. All right, Jaina in second. Wow. So the first thing I notice is her tiny midsection, extremely flat, really nice shape to her tummy. The obliques are easy to see. The belly button area is nice and smooth and flat. So just a really good midsection. I think she is also a little bit too sideways, so I'm losing some of that hourglass shape, even though I'm getting a great view of this leg. I think she could play around with pulling this shoulder a little bit more outwards to really line up the delt with the glute. Conditioning, I think, is good, but it could be a little more. I'd like to see that groove a bit deeper here by her glute, the line a little bit more visible down her leg. And even this toe, I think, could be a little bit more delicate, really raise the heel. And I think that would do a great job of showing the curve in the top of her quad. But overall, I'm really impressed. I love her bang. I love that little swoop in her hair. It's very flattering, draws your eyes to her face. And I think she looks really quite sensational. A gorgeous suit, beautiful physique. And now in first place is Yeon. Wow. So her conditioning stands out. She's got a very deep line, easy to see. Perfect curve to her quad with just enough detail coming through in that back leg. Great overall shape, beautiful curve starting right from the suit. A good little dip coming into the hamstrings. The hamstrings themselves are incredible. She's just got overall a beautiful shape, nice amount of muscle. Nice small waist, super flat tummy, great obliques, not too much rib, and yet she's got some good outline to the delts. She just looks fantastic. Really, overall, a great shape. The hair is off her shoulders, which I love. Lots of volume. Beautiful. I would have done a little bit more of a purpley shade to the lip, but again, that's just me. Maybe I'm lip crazy, but I think she looks beautiful and it's a great suit too. So this was a really beautiful first place for her. All right, so the side by side, I notice Yeon's legs. She's got a lot of size, a lot of muscle in that back leg. Bonnie beside her, I think, does too. Jaina could have a little bit more roundness to that back leg for sure. Then I notice the beautiful midsection, just to how nice and flat her tummy is. And then my eye is drawn to her delts. Bonnie, I think, also has really beautiful delts, but she doesn't quite have the midsection like Yeon or Jaina. Carla still, I think, a little bit too sideways. Legs are a little too close together. Karine, I think, looks really quite lovely. I like the way she's posing with her leg here. But Yeon really stands out simply because of the amount of size she has and the beautiful conditioning. Then from behind, I'm also drawn here to Yeon because of the shape of the glute and that beautiful detail coming through down by her tie-ins. And she does have a really nice hourglass shape. Bonnie, to me, also from behind looks really quite spectacular. So a very, very good top 5 for sure. Okay, Bikini over 50. In first place, Yeon. Second, Bonnie. Third, Carla. Fourth, Lori. And fifth, Karen. So here is Karen in fifth place. Oh, she looks awesome. She's pointing her toe a little bit more to the front, so you're getting a nice view of her quad. Great curve in the back leg. I think she's got really good delts. Check out the traps. She looks really built. Very muscular, nice hourglass shape. Beautiful obliques. Now, conditioning wise, I think the lines in the legs could be a little bit easier to see. And I find that the way she's posing, it's almost making her midsection like curve outwards rather than being a little bit more of that vacuum shape in. I don't think it's any problem with her midsection. I think it's just the way that she's posing. It's like her belly button is pointing down to the floor. I think the red suit looks lovely with the red lipstick, very beautifully coordinated. And her, like I said, the amount of muscle she has on her frame is fantastic. I think she looks really, really good. Okay, next is Lori in fourth place. Beautiful blue suit. I love her golden hair. I think she's got long legs, really nice fullness in her glute. And a good hourglass shape too. I do think Lori could have a little bit more size to her legs, a bit more quad, even more hamstring, a bit more size and roundness and fullness to the delts. But even more so, she could have a bit more conditioning just to show off some of that deeper lines in the legs, a little bit more of an outline to the delts. But overall, I think she's got a beautiful shape. She just looks fresh and lovely, and the suit is gorgeous, particularly with the color of the background. She just looks like she belongs. It's beautiful. Okay, Carla, we've already seen, as with Bonnie and Yeon. So here is the side by side. Again, for the same reasons I'm drawn to Jan. Her legs look really full, great definition, and then her midsection is so tight that you really notice that hourglass shape. I think she really, really nails it. And then from behind, beautiful detail in her glutes and hamstrings, and just overall, she looks firm, she looks tight, and great proportions. Okay, bikini over 60. First place, Karen. Second, Karen. Third, Deborah. And fourth, Shelly. So here's Shelly in fourth place. Fabulous conditioning. I love all the detail coming through on her back leg. The groove down her front leg is really easy to see. Very chiseled obliques. I think the posing could be a little bit more refined. The arm could come down a little bit more so it's not quite so extended. Hair could be off the shoulders so we get to see more delts. I think she could even have a bit more size, a little bit more roundness in the legs and the hamstrings, a little bit more size to the glutes. But overall, wow, I think she looks beautiful, and the suit is perfect, and I love her curly hair. So I think she looks really quite fantastic. Next is Deborah in fourth place. Deborah looks so beautiful. I love her sunny hair. It's so golden, so beachy. She's got a lot of volume. I would certainly try to have it off the shoulders so we can see this back delt a little better. Love the pink suit with a little bit of pink to her lips. She just looks so glowy and beautiful. She's got a great size to the glute, great size in her legs. I think she could have a bit more conditioning to show off the outline of the delt a little bit more, a deeper groove in the leg, a little bit more tightness to the midsection, but overall she's got beautiful size. Oh, I would also raise the foot a little bit more off the ground, just be a little bit more delicate in the toe. I think that would do wonders for this front pose, but overall she looks gorgeous. And now here's Karen in second place. First thing I notice is her glute. Really nice and high. Great amount of muscle in her glute. She's got good hamstrings as well. Beautiful tone to her skin in the legs. She's got nice size to the delts, but again, with conditioning, I think she could be a little tighter to have a little bit more of an outline, a little bit more of a deepness to the groove in the leg, a little bit tighter in the midsection. Maybe she could even try to stand a bit more upright, twist the shoulders so that the arm isn't quite so sideways, but rather more falling straight down. But overall, I love the golden, the very blonde hair. It's eye-catching. It's bright. Her suit is a beautiful, flattering shade, and she looks beautiful. And then, once again, Karen in first place. So here's the side-by-side. Karen stands out because of the amount of size she has in her legs and just how firm and toned she looks. She's got a nice fullness to the muscles in her legs. Her abs are very visible. Her midsection looks nice and tight. And then she's got a good hourglass shape. In this photo, I really noticed Shelly's delts. Very impressive. Then from behind, I think Karen again has that fullness and that tightness. So it's very easy to see how round her glutes are and the beautiful amount of definition in her tie-ins. So a very, very beautiful top four, but a great win for Karen. All right, Pro Wellness. Here we go. In first place, Giselle. Second, Jasmine. Third, Amanda. Fourth, Rayanne. And fifth, Daisha. And again, very even scoring. Okay, so here's Daisha in fifth place. I couldn't actually find a great photo of her in the side pose, which is my preferred pose in terms of comparing the physique. So I kind of gave you two different looks. Wow, she has an amazing amount of muscle in her legs in particular. So full in the quads. What a sweep. And great size and beautiful shape to her glute. Like it really comes out and high. I love that. And very full round hamstrings. I think her legs are super impressive. Her silhouette is crazy. An amazing V shape, tiny waist, beautiful definition in the abs. I just feel like from conditioning, she needed more detail in the quads. Even in this front pose, I think if we could see more of the lines coming through, that would have been killer. Great hair, great makeup, great suit. Just a little bit more detail coming through. Okay, next is Rayanne in fourth place. So beautiful, great shape to her glute and awesome hamstrings. She has beautiful curves to the front of the leg, it's quad in the back as well. Just like a really pleasant, pretty overall silhouette. I think you notice the hourglass, you notice her beautiful delts. She actually has really good balance between top to bottom. I know wellness is not about balance, but to me, I think she has just a really gorgeous overall silhouette. The suit is perfection. I love the colors. I think her makeup is pretty. Her hair is pretty. Just everything is pretty. She just looks so lovely. She's got great midsection. I think she's got beautiful obliques, nice tight stomach. But again, I do think that the conditioning could have been more when you compare her to the other girls, like a deeper groove, more of a line separating the hamstring from the quad, a little bit more detail on the back legs. Like she looks super full and round and bubbly, but I want to see just a little bit more hardness. But gorgeous. Okay, Amanda in the third. Now, this is what I'm talking about. A little bit more hardness, and she just looks next level. You've got more outline of the quad here. You've got more detail of the quad in the back. You've got a little bit more detail by the kneecap. Her stomach is super tight and flat. She's got a lot more detail coming through in her arms. Like just overall, the conditioning looks harder, firmer, and she just looks tight. And I love it. It looks so good. Her tan is beautiful. It's really dark, very complimentary. I think the face foundation could be slightly different just to match a little bit better, but the posing looks good. It's showing off this crazy tight, very high glute. I'm not crazy about all of the fingers showing, but I mean, it's just a photo, right? She's not quite necessarily in her pose. I like that she's very much at a 45-degree angle, so you're getting a really good look at the curves in the legs. I've said it before, I'm not crazy about the shoes. I like the clear heels, but I don't mind them. They're not the worst thing that I've ever seen. I think she looks just beautiful from head to toe. I like this little bit of blonde in her hair. It brings your eye up. She looks amazing. I love the conditioning. All right, next is Jasmine. Wow. I am always impressed by Jasmine's size. Her legs are massive. She's got so much meat and muscle in her quads, her hamstrings. The back leg looks unreal, so curvy. Absolutely spectacular lower body and a great upper body to match. She's got beautiful round delts, a lot of size in her arms, like just beautiful. Glutes look really good. I like that the groove here is really easy to see. She's got some detail coming through on the back leg, but I still think conditioning could have been a tiny bit tighter just so that the arms looked a little bit more detailed, a little bit more outlined, and even a little bit more coming through on the quad like what we saw with our third place winner. So I think she's made some huge improvements. Her waistline looks so small. She's got this great kind of triangular shape in her upper body. So really wide into really tiny, narrow. And then her legs just really steal the show. I love the blonde hair. The eyeshadow, like, oh, she's really, really something else. And now Giselle in first. She's got it all. She's got the shape. She's got the size, and her conditioning is perfect. So you've got detail in the arms. You've got even a little bit of vascularity happening. You've got a good amount of lines happening to outline the delt. But she's not like overly lean or anything like that. She just has really good shapes coming through. You see this beautiful shape coming into her back. Her abs are showing. You got the full six-pack. You got the chiseled oblique. Her glute is gorgeous. Great shape starting right from the top of her hip. Though I do feel that she gets like this bit of a dip right here. I would love to see that more rounded. But then continue your eye, and man, she's got great curvy hamstrings, and check out all of the detail. Detail in her calves, detail by her knees, detail in the quads, detail by her hip. She's just got beautiful conditioning. The hair is lovely with that swirl by her eye. The suit is gorgeous. She's just amazing. Okay, side by side, Giselle's waist is so tiny. Her abs are so defined. She's got beautiful posing and great proportions. I love how rounded her glute looks, and I love how balanced she is in the upper body with the glute. I think Ryan beside her looks really impressive, but again, just not quite firm enough, not enough of that hardness in the lines. Jasmine, I think, looks spectacular. This groove looks really good in this picture, but just not quite the same level of conditioning as Giselle. Amanda, gorgeous conditioning. I think she could have twisted a little bit more towards the front so the shoulder could be a bit more open. But wow, what a top 5. And Daisha, I know this isn't the greatest photo, but I love how glossy she is and just the sheer amount of muscle she has on her legs. Very impressive. From behind, wow. Jasmine's quad sweep is out of this world. Her tie-ins are so easy to see. I love it. Giselle has a little bit more of a little bit more roundness and fullness on the inside. Maybe she's just has her feet a little closer, but I feel that she's got a really nice overall shape with the legs and the glutes and the way that she's posing. I think she's standing nice and upright, so you really get a good view of that hourglass shape. I love how the hair comes in, so you got a nice view of her delts. I think Ryan could probably brush through these curls and loosen them up a little bit to be a little bit more like Daisha's, but Daisha could have a little bit more of her delts showing, so perhaps a little bit less volume, somewhere in the middle of these two. Amanda's glutes look really fantastic. She doesn't quite have the definition coming through on her hamstrings like we see with Giselle. Giselle just overall has such a great shape from behind. Her waist looks so small. The glutes are really, really popping. So in terms of Olympia, Giselle is now qualified. All right, wellness over 35, there were 2 competitors. So in first place, Carol, second, Kathy. So here's Kathy in second place. Great legs, really nice shape to her glute, really good size to her delts. And I like that you can see some detail coming through in her abs, but I do think she could have been leaner. I think her waistline could be smaller. We could have more detail coming through in the arms themselves and even a little bit more of that definition coming through in the quads. But beautiful overall shape, and I'm super impressed by her size. Next is Carol in first place. Okay, I love her tan. I think she looks really dark. I think she's got beautiful skin tone, and you really notice her beautiful lines. So a great line coming down her quad, a bit of an oblique here showing through. Posing wise, I think she's doing a good job of showcasing the lower body, but I don't love how the arm is so sideways. If she could somehow pull herself up a bit so that the arm fell a little bit more down rather than out, that would be killer. It's a great suit. I would have done a bit more red to the lip, but I think the makeup is beautiful and the hair looks gorgeous. It's silky smooth. She's got good size and really good conditioning, and I love how flat her tummy is. Okay, side by side. Wow. So Kathy's upper body really impresses me, actually. And in this photo, I think her conditioning looks really quite good. And I love the gloss. But I do think that Carol is showing that wellness shape a little better in her posing. Her waist looks a bit smaller. She's got a bit more of a bend to the knee. So it's really highlighting the hamstring and that beautiful rounded shape to her glute. And then from behind, I don't normally mention tattoos, but I think this is a case where the darkness on top is making it hard to see the roundness of Kathy's glutes. I think Carol, you really notice that beautiful shape. You see her tie-ins. Kathy could have had a little bit more conditioning there and even a little bit more fullness in the hair. I think that would have helped to just look very voluminous from behind, even though I think her delts look amazing. But I think Carol kind of nailed it with the shape and nailed it with the conditioning. All right, wellness over 40. In first place, Kimberly, and second place, Idalia. So Idalia in second, absolutely stunning. I love the conditioning in her legs. You've got crazy detail in her quads down by the knee, up at the top. Just beautiful. Even her calves and her shins look gorgeous. She's got this nice groove coming through on her glute. Great hourglassy shape. Like you really notice the tininess of the waist coming out into the fullness of the glute. I think she could be posing a little bit differently to show her upper body a bit better. I would put the hair to the back. I would try to be a bit more sideways so that you could see the shape more of the lats and the delts. But it's a great suit, beautiful hair, beautiful lipstick, and I think overall she looks really quite spectacular. And now Kimberly in first place. So here you see she's a bit more sideways. Gives you such a good view of her gorgeous glute. What a perfect round shape. She's got great fullness in the quads. Legs look good too. The back of the leg, nice hamstring. Really impressive midsection. Nice flat abs. Great obliques. I think she could twist a little bit more open so that we could see more of the side of the delt. But you can see she's got a great shape. Her conditioning is lovely. I wouldn't mind a little bit more detail coming through, but I think you're getting some really good lines and overall really quite beautiful. Love the bright lime green suit. You can see she's coordinating her makeup to match. She's very impressive. Now, side by side, I find both of these women are a little bit tight in the posing. I would probably bring the foot more forward for Idalia. Kimberly, her feet look pretty good, but I would be a little bit less sideways and try to make the body, like the torso, a little bit more forward just so that we see the delts. Both women, I think, could twist a little bit more forward. But I'm really noticing Kimberly's nice, tight, toned waistline here, the beautiful detail coming through on her delts, and just the roundness of her glute. Idalia's arm is covering up the glute, unfortunately, in this photo, so I would definitely work on the posing. And now from behind, I think you notice Kimberly's conditioning. Her quad sweep is beautiful. The glute ham tie-ins are really visible. Both women have great delts and really nice small waistlines from behind, but Kimberly's detail is just showing a little bit clearer, and she's got a bit more size to the glutes. So that covers it for this show. I know this was a long video. Stay tuned, you guys. I promise you my Vancouver Island Showdown video is going to knock your socks off. I have something very special to show you for that one. It's coming up next, and there are still a couple more shows of the month. So make sure you subscribe, give me a like if you like this video, comment below your thoughts, and come find me. I'm at turquoisetoffee.wordpress.com and of course on Instagram at turquoisetoffee.